Welcome to Satisfactory Update 6. My name is Nilaus and we are continuing on this glorious base. It's not big, but it's mine. We built our coal plant last time. If you missed it, check out that episode. And as always, when there is a natural progression in Satisfactory, so after you hit level 3 or tier 3, you get built your coal power plant so you don't have to deal with burner miners. And after that, the next natural thing is steel. So that's what we're going to be dealing with today. I will try to make this episode or this series sort of follow the logical progression so you can play along if you feel like it. So now we have basic steel. That's amazing. So thank you all of you for following along on this series. I really appreciate all the support and the encouragement and the nice comments in chat, not in comment section. It is really nice of you to support the work I do here, and it's so lovely that you want to see more Satisfactory here on YouTube. I do enjoy making these structured videos here together with the live streaming on Twitch. What I'm going to do now is I am going to immediately start burning through some hard drive. I've saved a few hard drives because once you have steel, you only have one steel recipe, and this is this one. So don't ever use it. It's very simple. Once you unlock steel, stop what you're doing, go out, get some more parts, get some more hard drives, and let this one burn until you have the hard drive that you need. The one you need is I don't know, the one that uses, instead of just steel iron ore, then it uses iron ingots. It is much more efficient. So what we need to do is just wait for us to get one of this. I have 6 rolls of the dice to get it, and if you save them up and you do it as soon as you hit steel, there is the greatest possible chance that you get it fast. So with that, what we are going to do as well, while we let that one roll, is that I will be finding the location we want to build in. So the principle of this base is that I want to have like a hive city megastructure thing where everything is close together on top of each other and building sort of that way, heading towards the Spire coast. That means after we build the first part, the next part is going to be here. Let's build a tower and use that line up here that we bring coal from that location. If we scan for coal, we can also get a sense of where you have items that we need, because we need coal and iron for our build. And if we go down here, we will see that this location is where we have our iron builds. Yep, all the way down there. And we have pure, normal, pure, and pure. So we will be tapping a few of these patches to get them in here. Then the other thing we want to scan for is where do we have the next iron parts, because that is also important. We need coal and iron inbound, and I think it's up. Yeah, okay, that's the one we already know. There. These are the ones. They are, I love that it says temp pure and pure. Good, so we'll take that. Now, let's wait until we have it, and then we can go through the designs of how we want to design it. Some time has passed and colors in the base have changed. As I mentioned before, the colors are changing based on what happens in Twitch chat. If we have a hype train level 3, then whoever wins it gets to choose the colors for the entire factory. And that means that during this YouTube series, there will be changing colors of the factory all the time. Some will be beautiful, some will be awful, but they will all be chosen by chat. So that's a bit of a difference from usual. What I've also done is I built this little tower over here, and that will be serving us well. You can see I continue the brutalist design philosophy, and yeah, pillars are, we'll add the pillars later. Now, at this point we need to figure out how do we need to do it. The first thing I should say is when you build steel, there's always going to be one problem and one problem only. Not many problems. We need iron out here, we have coal out here, that's good, we bring it in. Then the question is, how big do you want to make it? Because now we have the new recipe, and you need to figure out how big you want to make it. So this is a much better recipe. It takes 2 iron ingots plus 2 coal gives 3. So basically, instead of 3 plus 3 gives 3, it's 2 plus 2 gives 3. That is way better. Plus it's also faster, which is nice. So don't ever start working on this. Always go find the alternate recipe first. It does take one extra step, but that is totally worth it for saving 33% resources. Now, the hardest part about this is figuring out the recipe, because at this point, we only have Mark II belts, and that's 120. So it's easy to say, well, I'm just going to bring 120 in, 120 in, and then we make it. And then with our new recipe here, we will... Hey, I chose steel. There. We will be getting 120 plus 120 will give 180. That's perfect. Then we can look at 180 and then define what we want in terms of steel beams, well, we can then take 4 of them in here, or steel pipe, then we can take 3 in here. Okay, that gets really annoying. Or you can take 2 lanes of 120 in, but then no matter what you do, as long as you're doing a multiple 120, then as soon as you get the first steel belt done, you get the first Mark III belt, and then you go, ah, damn, now I have to rebuild it. So I've come up with a new idea, together with the people in Twitch chat, and I think it's pretty good, is that we make modules of 120, and that also means that anytime I need something further down the line, let's say I made encased industrial beams, they need steel pipes, then I will say, okay, let's make a floor dedicated to steel pipes, give us how many steel pipes that is, and then export that to the next one. That means we can control that we don't sort of overdraw or underdraw from our resources. Now, I hope that kind of made sense. If it didn't, then I'll try to explain it again. So let me know if it didn't make sense. Or come to Twitch and said, you're not making any sense. Like, the idea that I always find is that I build steel too small in the beginning, and then it's going to be really difficult to scale it up because you kind of sort of allocated space already. And then you end up sort of later in the game going like, ah, now I have to build a new steel facility, but I actually had it already. Why didn't I build it big enough in the first place? And that's annoying. That's the one thing. The other thing that we're going to do that's kind of unique is that we will be trying to be doing a design here where we take weird ratios, and not something I was keen on in the beginning, but I got convinced. So we are going to take 30 in here. So if I have 4 of these, then I can consume 120. So I'll just need to get 120 iron coming in here. That will come down from up here, go down, and in. It might also go further down, which is how we sort of split it into multiple. So if a belt comes in faster, for example 270 for Mark III or 480 for a Mark IV, then we just get in here, take the 120 and move it on to another floor. That's the plan as well. Let's get the buildings down. This means what I basically need is this 130 goes into 1. You know what? I need to build this part, just so we can see the recipe for this. The alternate steel, 40 plus 40 plus 60. So we need 3 of these. Well, 4 into 3 is never really good. So what I need to do is I need to take this one fully allocated in here, the one out here fully allocated into another one on this side, and then the 2 middle ones will be merging into the third one, but then also sending some over here, and this one is sending some over here. It's not going to be a perfect balance until you get the smart splitters, but it's going to be good enough. It's going to run almost fully. And when you get the smart splitters, you can replace the splitters, and then it works flawlessly perfect. Good. I'll explain it once we build it, but first I think I want to build it. We are going to start with this one being a merger. And then on the other side, I will also make a merge over here. And then I will make a split here. And I'll make a split here. And then in between, I'll make a merge. So that means we now have 1, 2, 3 outputs from our 4 inputs. Now, next up is figuring out where the correct placement of this is, so that if I have an inserter like that, it then how close does it have to be? What I do is I look at this. It needs to be connecting, so I'll take. Isn't this? Come on, align. Okay, so that's alignment, and then I go 1 closer. That means when I take this out and I align it, I should probably stand here. So I align it correctly. It's there. Let's see if that works. Yes, there's a nice overlap. I don't need it there, but I just needed to know the distance. Good. That's the distance. I can take you out as well. This will now be heading in here. That should be good. And look at that bluish green turquoise line flowing through. Come on. There. This will go straight in, and then I'll have up top, I'll get the coal ore in, which will then feed into the other input. So let's make the room for the coal ore. This will be on a there, and here. Did that work, the top one? Yeah. That's input. Perfect alignment. I'll get the other one, which will be on top here. All of this, there will be diagrams for it in the chat. So if you like those diagrams, find them useful, now that we don't have blueprints in this game, then big thanks to Besterman for making this. This is super amazing that we have this. That's the splitter. It needs to come from that side. There, and there. So you can look at the diagrams, which might be easier than trying to follow during a YouTube episode. Like, what the hell's going on? Like, where are these exactly going to be placed? Where's the positioning of this? But I'm really always being keen on splitters in the middle of a tile, if at all possible. And then the next machine will be placed at a distance so that this fits snugly into the next. Actually looks really close. Looks like it might actually be able to do one further out. Damn. Let me just try that, because maybe it should have been one further out. I should have more faith in myself, because that was actually the only way that it worked, was to build it like this. If I move it one out, then it doesn't click snap immediately in. Right. Why is this thing bluish down here, and this thing is just gray with more gray on top? I don't know. Yeah, that swatch looks weird. Ah well. At some point it'll be changed. Alright, so what do we have now? After this we have 60 plus 60 plus 60. That goes out. And this is where we now have to make a choice. I'm going to bring 2 lines of 120 in. That will then be updated to 270 each. Technically only 240, so that I can get 2 floors. So that means 1 line in right now with a Mark II belt can give 1 floor. 1 floor will be dedicated to either beams or pipes. And if we look at the results here, this is 60 out. If I look at what it takes to build, then I can take a look here. If I want that takes 60 to 15. Perfect. So that's easily to align. This takes 30 to 20. So that's 2 of these. I'll just build the pipes, because we'll build the pipes, right? We'll build the pipes here. And so that means the first thing I need is a splitter. Again, place it in the middle. Yeah. And then I will get a constructor for a pipe. And then if I make them as I usually want to, like this, then it's going to take 6 tiles wide. But this is kind of not then a module then. So what I want to do is actually do, I think, like this. Yes. And first of all, we'll build the splitters out here. One more splitter, and here. One more splitter. And we'll build. That's just not working. Why is it not working? Oh, right, because you're not placed the right place. Ah. You're placed in the middle of it instead of in front of the opening. Yeah. And then we'll try again. Again, middle. Here. This gets in the middle. Here. And this gets in the middle. There. And then we build the next one. We just build those as close as possible, but in the gaps between. There's going to be a nice gap in between. That will be here. And then we just hook up the belts. And what I'll do at the end of this location, I will just be making some merger that goes from here and merge this one, this one, come on, there you are, and the last one. And they will just be put into a little box, because that's all we need to do right now, is just put it into a box. Once we have it beyond the box, then this will be going into some other design, or it'll be going to a hub that we will make eventually. All right, so what I need to talk about as well is how do we make the inbound here? So what I want to bring a built in here that goes in, but can also go on. So it should basically be taking half of it. Of course, this is sort of preparing for the future. And the way I want to do it is to do it like this. here, and here. So I'm basically going to get it in from here into that one. Actually, I don't need this, but I do need this to be a level 2 splitter here. So I'm going to get a belt in here. This comes in from the top. Then it goes down. Then it goes in further. And it also goes out. That means I can now have a going down and another one coming up. The great thing about this is that from the outside it'll look really good, because I will have just one line all the way down with a little gap here that just where it intersects, splits in and goes back out again. So I think that's a really neat, and then we can make this for the iron part and then a similar one for the coal part here, which has to be kind of different. Let's see if I can figure that out. That'll be here. 1, 2. So what happens is it goes in, and then it goes in here. Then it also merges down. That'll already be the branch here. And then it goes there. Good. So that is the similar one. Goes in, splits between this floor, and then goes down and out again to the second floor. That will be below ground here. Now, with all of that done, all I need to do is hook up all the pipes, belts, and also go out and find some more iron and coal out here, and then we can hook this one up. I will be making another floor that goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There. I'll be making another one up there. That level up there will be for beams, and the only difference between this one and the beams one is that instead of having outbound here into 2 builds of steel pipes, then we have it into 1 build of beams. So let's try and build that, and let's see how that works when you fire it up. And here we have our coal lines, 3 coal lines. The only one moving is the middle one. The middle one is taking it to our coal power plants. You can also see the factory has changed color again. It happens. Up here we have 2 iron lines coming in. Very nice, and they are going in. And all we need to do now is go in and take a look at our completed build here in our Brutalist setup. I have set these up here, and I'll build the next floor on top. I have set all the recipes. I hope all the recipes are set, all of the belts are hooked up, and all I need to do is now hook up the final piece of the puzzle, and that will just get the whole thing to get started. I will just get a little top vantage point here so we can actually look at this, looking down at it. Maybe that'll give a bit of better context on what it looks like, this module. So to summarize, this module is taking 120 iron in here, converting into 120 ingots, taking 120 coal in here, and combining the 2 into 180 steel ingots. That goes into 6 builds here. That makes steel pipes. That gives us 120 steel pipes per minute, and that goes into a box currently. Now, what I want to do with this is I want to do 2 things. One is I'll make 1 floor that makes just pipes, and I make 1 floor that makes just beams, and those will be sort of for all my normal construction, and it'll go into our hub that I don't know where it's going to be, but I'm going to have like a storage facility that I can pick up everything from. That's one of the somewhat next things I want to build. And from then on, I will also sort of make new floors as we need it in order to get to, for example, put it into, let's say, encased industrial beams or heavy modular frames or anything else. Then we'll basically say, I'm going to need something. I'm going to take it in a ratio of 120 steel and then of 120 steel pipes. Then that's going to be the ratio I'm building the next part at. Or 240. And that means this tower can then just keep going up if I want to, because I can, as I upgrade the belts. Now, the next thing I want to do is obviously make another floor up here for steel beams. So let's make that. It's going to be exactly the same build as this. So it's just going to be this part that's different, but it will mean that we will then have the steel beams, which we need for our Mark III belts. And so we start from a different location, just so you get a sense of it. And very questionable color scheme. Now it was decided to make the pipes pink pink, whatever the hell that is. It's not pink, it's light blue, and all the rest of it green. So yep, that's the thing. Also, if you are building like me, this place is extremely unreliable. Basically, if you get too far away from this location, then it turns the water into nuclear waste, and then it stops your power production. So hopefully that'll get fixed soon. In the meantime, you can fix it with a workaround. This is only relevant if you're playing like immediately as this video comes out. We're going to hope and assume that it's going to be fixed soon. But if you do that, then just save the game, go to main menu, and go back again. So that's the workaround. It's tolerable, but of course it'll be fixed soon. We know that. They just need to have their midsummer break. So what we have here is another build. This is exactly the same as we have previously. What we're getting here is a lot of juicy more faster steel beams, and that means we can get tier 3 belts. We can now go here, and I put some railings up here. We have the different colors. You can see all the 4 belts are coming in. 2 coal belts, 2 iron belts coming in. Only 2 of them are working. The next ones will not be working. We have at this moment, let's build a new staircase here. This is the previous one. This is making steel pipes. So now we have steel pipes going into a box, which is kind of stalled at this point. So we need to put it into an awesome sink just to keep it flowing. And the floor up here making steel beams. So at the end of this, we now have 45 steel beams and 120 steel pipes. And it's a modular design, so I can build another floor on top, another floor below, if I feel so inclined. I'm already out here sort of tentatively starting to design the stuff that I want to do for the next. The next thing will be for encased industrial beams, and that will be using pipes. So I'll basically take this floor down here. This floor will be actually allocated to encased industrial beams that will go over to this location. That's not much of an issue. It's just now that it's here. So the next big project we want to do is probably going to be building a new storage facility, because then we have all the iron parts, all the copper parts, all the steel parts, and yeah, that's pretty good place to start. So that's all the things we need to build moving forward. We don't have a completed build for our modular frames yet, and I think I might squeeze it in down here, and also encased industrial beams will be over here. Once I have those two, then I feel I'm pretty much set. That means we can also start working on hypertubes, which will be one of the next unlocks. So we'll have to have some kind of hypertube network to sort of go between our, well, more factories as we progress that way. I hope this was useful, educational, entertaining, all that stuff for a noodle design. And I really like the idea of having a modular build. That means it's going to be so much easier, and I can just keep building upwards if I want to for additional stuff as we bring in more lines and we upgrade the belts to higher tiers, all the way up to 600 to 600. I can get 1200 inbound, and that means I could get, I don't know, let's say 600 steel pipes and, oh, why did I do math? 270... No, that's less than that. I don't know. Something. You figure it out. 270, I think. 270 steel beams from this tower if we go all the way up to tier 5. I think that's pretty amazing. In any case, that is going to be where we wrap up today. If you liked the video and you're still watching, be sure to hit the like button. If you want to see more videos of this type of Satisfactory or any other factory game, then be sure to subscribe to the channel. If you want to see live and be part of the design process, come on over to Twitch, Tuesday, Thursdays, and Sundays at 8 p.m. Central European Time. Then I'll be streaming there. And until next time, take care, and as always, stay effective.